Hello, Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. We're going to read your tarot cards. These are timeless, so whenever you stumble upon this video, if the messages resonate, take it and run with it. Here we go. For Aries, what do they need to know? Aries. As always, guys, these are general messages, so not everything I say will resonate. Just know that in advance. If it's not your message this time, no big deal. Check back next week, it might be, okay? Also, give these messages time to resonate. You guys know the drill. Let's do it. So, Four of Cups. All right, so a little bit contemplative, but feeling like there's too many avenues or too many decisions. So I think you're right to, it's almost like emotional assessment. Like, well, when I think about whatever, taking this job, dating this person, how does it make me feel? It feels like there's a lot of feelings, quite frankly. And I'm almost thinking there's too many, so you're not sure what's true or what's correct anymore. So my main thing with that is that it almost seems like you're letting fear bleed into your intuition, right? Your intuition always steers you in the right direction, but it doesn't necessarily keep you comfortable in a sense. It doesn't keep you safe in terms of what you believe as, I don't know if contentment is the right word. I mean, yes, physical safety, that's not what I mean. Almost the false comfort zone. Let's say it like that. So it may indicate that in order to go after something you really want, it might make you a little bit uncomfortable. You may have to get out of that comfort zone or that safety zone, or let's just call it familiarity, right? It doesn't mean it's negative or positive. It's neutral. In fact, that's sort of what Four of Cups is. But if something is feeling neutral, I'm not necessarily sure that A, it's a reason to stay there, or the opposite, go after it. In theory, right, if this is you're going after something you really want, at minimum, you should feel that excitement to do it. So I'm not questioning that you guys don't know that. That's a pretty basic thing, right? I like this and it makes me happy. I want to go after it. Okay, cool, completely valid. But I'm thinking that is there something you're trying to bring? Is there something you're trying to bring with you that maybe this new chapter is saying that can't come along too? And because it's being expressed with cups, it's more like the emotional feeling of, you know, living under your parents' roof versus getting an apartment by yourself. It's a little bit scary, right? It's different. It's unknown. That doesn't mean it's not going to thrill you and be very exciting. It really is what you make of it. And I think there's something to do with coming to terms of what you're feeling emotionally called to. It may defy logic a little bit. It might not be the most straightforward route, but if your heart tells you that it is so, if your heart tells you that there's value in it, I think it's worth listening to, but I'm almost trying to get to the solution to your problems here because I almost think you have too many options. Does that make sense to anyone? So rather than being like this job or that job, I get the impression you put out tons of apps and you're getting all these bites back, like come in for the interview. Yes, we'll offer you the position, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be jobs, but it's almost like you put too much out there, and so it's more muddled and confusing now that you're hearing back, or those options are actually becoming real and tangible. And also, for those who that doesn't quite make sense, it's like don't fear what hasn't even come to you yet, right? So it's not a reason to not put out jobs because you're like, well, what if I get a bite back and I'm not ready to move to that city, or I'm not ready to take on that responsibility? Well, it's not even a plausible thing yet. So it's like don't invest wasted energy in something until it becomes real. And there is, with cups, there can be a lot to do with, yes, emotions and feelings and emotional comfort, but also a little bit, and don't shoot the messenger, Aries, but a little bit of like illusion, where we get lost in the dream of something, where we get lost in the fantasy. And so that, again, positive or negative, the fantasy of, oh, it would be so fun to move to New York City. But is it practical? Do I want to move to the city? Do I know anybody there? Are there jobs available? Right? So there's that sense. But again, it can also be, rather than fantasy, it can be illusion. Well, if I move to this town, you know, again, I won't know anybody. What will I do? But what if you meet people, right? There's a need to balance things out with your emotions, and I think the logic, and also the tangible pieces as they're falling together. So let's work our way through this, and I'm actually going to give you some decent advice, I hope, but I sort of needed to walk myself through it to understand where we're at here. So there's a new thing that you are currently manifesting or have manifested, and it's coming into you, and it seems like a really big opportunity. Look how cool that card is. This is the King of Pentacles, so this is a big offer, right? Frequently, Pentacles has to do with earthly, tangible possessions. So your car, your house, your job. It could even be a person, someone who maybe has strong earth in their chart, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. It doesn't even have to be zodiac sign related. It could be someone who's very good with their money, very good with their finances. This might be saying to me, do you need to speak to someone who's like a financial advisor, or someone who deals in real estate or homes, or like a person who could assist you in whatever it is that's giving you a little bit of confusion? Are you being a good advocate for yourself? Are you seeking avenues of help in the areas that pertain to that issue that you're struggling with? And for some of you, yeah, this does have a lot to do with money and feeling very, I don't know if disillusioned is the right term, but confused. Where do I go? How do I get more money? So let me pull a card on that, because that seems like a very straightforward message. How can they get more money? What are the steps to take? How can Aries get more money? If that's what you're curious about, right? I'm going to answer it anyway, but if you're not curious, then hold on. We'll move on in a minute. Some of you are wondering if you should put a lot of money in some sort of technology that would provide you, I don't know, more stability or more whatever, a big piece of technology. It's probably a big ticket item. It's expensive. If that piece of technology or whatever it is, that class, that course online, whatever, if you feel good about it and you see potential in it, I think it's all what you make of it. So if you purchase this thing, and I know this is a silly message, but it's important, it's not going to do the work for you. You still have to show up and do it, but I think this could manifest a great amount of money for you if this has to do with your career. Sometimes you got to spend a little money to make a lot of money, or a little, that kind of thing. I think that's a big message coming through here. You need to take calculated risks. That's really what this is, because maybe and I do truly believe this, as bullshitty as it sounds, there really are no right or wrong answers. And I think that's kind of the beauty of tarot, is we go into it like, oh, but how does he feel and what do I do? It's like, well, what is your gut telling you? I can walk you through some of the logic based on what the cards are telling me, but I think you're making a monster out of this. I don't know what's to come and I'm feeling some type of way about it. But again, it's not necessarily grounded in what has happened. You're projecting into the future. The magician takes risks. He's the master manifester, and he has everything he needs, he or she, right, to set themselves up for success. In theory, right, he has all the tools on his table. He has the swords, the pentacles, the cups, the wands, right? All those aces essentially are what the magician has, so he can manifest anything he wants. And you can do this too, Aries, right? I sound like Tony Robbins, and you can do it too with these 5 simple steps. Call this number. Just kidding. I feel like I'm a guru of self-help right now, but let's see. I am going to answer that question. So if Aries is looking to improve their financial situation or save up money for a big purchase, especially something that would help their career, maybe you're going back to school, maybe you're getting another degree, What can I tell them about money? Opportunities for money, please. The thing is, it's already showing up in your spread, so this money or payout or loan or grant or whatever it is that maybe you're applying for or looking to acquire, it's not that far away. It's literally right next to the magician. So I'm not saying this is going to happen overnight. I don't like to read with the Cinderella story mentality, but there's no reason why you couldn't acquire this. There's no reason why you couldn't manifest this in your life. Maybe it has to do with priorities. Are you putting priorities in the wrong place out of emotional guilt? Well, I have to spend X amount of time with my kids or my husband or my parents or my boyfriend, whatever it is. It's are you putting the emotion into what you want, or is it too spread out? Are you spreading yourself too thin, especially regarding relationships in your life? Take some time for you. All right. For those, I don't ever predict scary stuff. The Tower indicates something major is happening in your life where you may see it as everything crumbling down on you, but Spirit to me is saying that's anything but the truth. Something had to end to welcome in this new beginning, especially career-wise, professionally, in order for Aries to obtain some sense of personal success and really feeling, cups, of fulfillment. So I just have to say it, right? Please don't take on this story if it's not yours, but those who got fired, those who got furloughed, those who went through some sort of holy shit, what's going on during the pandemic, you don't even know. And I know this is hard to hear, so again, if you're not ready to hear this, that's okay, but I'm not attacking you. I don't mean to offend you if this is sensitive, but something happened, and rightfully so, your reaction was oh my God, what is happening in my life? What I'm getting at is the universe is they are setting you up for success, but you may not have reached the point where you're ready to embrace that new chapter. And with that understanding or embracing of, this is a new beginning. That's what the magician is. He's card 1, right? This is a new start. This new start, it's there's a platform for which you can grow and thrive in a different way than you were ever able to do it before if you were stuck in the tower, in this old relationship, in that old circumstance, with those old groups of people. And I'm not even saying those are necessarily bad or toxic or narcissistic. It's gonna be different for all of you. There was something about the status quo or the situation you were in where, for some reason or another, you were let go or released out into the world. Let's put it that way. And I think this has already happened. It's almost showing up as like your past card. So I get that some of you are like, okay, I'm coming to accept this is what happened and I can't change it. But, and I honestly think like even me saying that is the wrong mentality. You absolutely can change this. I don't know if maybe you can fix it in terms of going back to what was, because I don't think that's what the universe wants from you. I think they want you to be future oriented, and I think they want you to ask yourself, Aries, well, what does make me happy? Were you giving too much or putting too much energy into what others wanted or what others needed? Were you being very the opposite of self-serving? This is such a great message for you, Aries. You know why. I like that a lot, because Aries, I mean, you guys get slapped with this reputation a lot because, you know, zodiac stuff, it is built on stereotype a little bit, right? You guys are the self. You are about me. You are the I am, the ram, the head busting through despite the people. This is almost like you've been catering to the opposite side of your personality. You've been catering to other relationships, and I'm not saying you're egotistical. I'm not saying you're pig-headed, but you guys know this. Like, you get that rap in tarot, right? I don't think that's true. I think sometimes it comes through in readings, but this to me is saying the Aries who are connecting with this reading, it was the opposite problem. It's like, you are the ram. You are the I am. You are of the self. You build the ego, the identity, right? We're headed into Aries season. Maybe this is a timestamp. Happy early birthday, guys. It's like, what makes you happy? What makes you sing? What makes you dance on the clouds? More time and investment needs to be put into that. That's where the money is. Focusing more on yourself and your pleasure and your happiness. Doing it quite simply for you, right? And there's a time and a place for that. There's certainly a time and a place for being considerate and empathic or sympathetic to what other people need, right? But that time has passed right now. I think that's sort of what got you into a situation, is there may have been some sort of contract where at the time it seemed like a good fit for you, and I'm sure it served a purpose somehow. But ultimately, by staying in that relationship or in that space, you would have been sacrificing a lot and not living out your truest purpose here in this lifetime, here on Earth, right? So if you're looking for money or to acquire something big, if you want more recognition, if you want status, if you want to be that King of Pentacles, you need to look at this as a fresh new start, and you have everything you need. Everything you need is immediately and readily available to you. And I know some of you are going, no, I need the car to do this. I need a new house to do that. You will get that, but it's like the power of thought, really the power of positivity, right? I know some people cringe when they hear that, but it's so true. If you make it this untangible thing that you're never going to achieve, well, that's exactly what's going to happen. Manifest it like it's already in your life. Manifest it as if not as if, that you deserve it. You will get it because it's in alignment with what you want. And in that sense, you could make it about, well, if I please this aspect of me, if I acquire this, then I can live out my purpose here on Earth by serving others through that means. But I think you have to make sure it comes to you first, if that makes sense. And again, it's not a materialistic thing. It's not an egotistical thing. It's like, your survival, essentially, you're going to have a better chance at survival if there's avenues of joy and passion and excitement and feeling fulfilled in your life. Make sure that's the gap you're trying to fill first. Make it about you, right? Rather than taking a person and having them fill that gap of, oh, I need a relationship. No. What brings you happiness? That's the biggest question here. And something about that, investing more time in your freedom, in your personal creativity, in your joy, in whatever, your family, your children, right? I know it's a convoluted message, but if that brings you happiness, it's like, that's money in the hand. That's golden. That's a golden opportunity. This is not a bad reading. Do you understand? Like this crazy monster of a problem that's like, oh, I don't know, and this and that, and there's so many factors, I'm overwhelmed. Granted, the details are going to change for a lot of you, but universe's solution to you is, well, how do I get it? How do I acquire that? Which way do I go? Which job? Which person? What makes you happiest? And some of you don't know, and that's okay. But if you're looking for an easy solution, here's the blunt truth. The solution is to try. Try it on, Does the hat look good? Well, try it on. How do you feel in it? How do you look in the mirror? Try it on in multiple avenues of your life, in that relationship, in that job, in that engagement, right? Oh, I love this person, but am I ready to be engaged? Do I really want them? Well, how does it feel? What are those emotions that you're feeling trying to tell you in the larger picture? Listen to your intuition. I think that's where you're getting a little bit off course, is because you're letting fear bleed into that. The thing is, most of the fear, I think, is behind you. Essentially, the Tower comes in to break you away from the devil, right? Which is fear, codependence, addiction, lower shadow energy vibes, right? You're already through the thick of it, whether you think it or not. But I mean, this is so positive. This is you surrounded by sunshine and light and happiness, feeling like you're growing and thriving again. Maybe a lot of this just had to do with feeling stuck, right? With, whatever, the pandemic. There was a period in your life where you're just like, oh, this is not fun. Good that you're recognizing that. That's awesome. But now what? Now we have to recognize, okay, I'm not having fun, but we need to be solution oriented. Well, what makes you feel alive? What makes you thrive? And it doesn't have to be acquiring that job title with X amount of money per year. It can be, that's just as valid. But I would offer, what about the simple things? What about, sticking your feet in the lake? What about, picking flowers, going horseback riding, something kind of lighthearted. And because you're Aries, there's something so important for you guys to honor your inner child. Don't do it the mature way because you feel like it's your responsibility to do that. Again, to please others, to worry about what others think. You don't give a fuck, right? You're Aries. In a sense, that's where I love the Aries mentality, because it doesn't need to cater to everyone else. You guys, in a sense, can be very self-sufficient. You're the trailblazers, but somehow you lost sight of that. So that's the message this week. What makes you happy? And I would argue, start with the simple things. Reach for the stars, aim big, absolutely. That will come in when it is supposed to. Take action towards it, send messages to the divine of what you want. Act as if it's already in your life, though, because I think that's going to make you feel a sense of gratitude for what is already around. It's interesting. I just did an Instagram post that was actually really similar to your vibe, so I'm thinking that actually came through for a reason. So, not trying to promote myself, but if you're on Instagram, I'm on there, and I like to post kind of things like this every now and then. But anyway, it reminded me of that. What makes you happy? Find a reason to be grateful. Yes, find a reason to be grateful every day, and I think that's going to align you to something bigger down the road, something much bigger. King of Pentacles bigger. All right, Aries, that's what I got for you. If you made it this far, thank you so much. You guys are my people. Thank you for following me, especially the loyal subscribers. I truly, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate you. I'm not just saying that as a formality. This wouldn't be possible without you guys hitting the like, but also just showing up. That's most important to me. Allowing me to connect with your energy, essentially energetically sharing your stories with me. I appreciate you guys. So, that's what I got for you this week. I will see you next Tuesday for more tarot. And yeah, until then, have a good one. Bye, guys.